Good evening. After 72 years of foreign domination, Armenia has declared itself independent from the Soviet Union. On a vote of 183 to 2, Armenia joined Latvia and Estonia in a gradual move towards sovereign statehood. The resolution adopted on Thursday contains 12 points. Among the most significant are the first, which implements a change in name from the Armenian Soviet Socialist Republic to the Republic of Armenia. The fourth point establishes Armenia's right to its own military forces. Point 5 declares Armenia's right to establish its own ties with the international community. The sixth point guarantees freedom of speech, press, and conscience. It also defines a separation of powers between the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of government, as well as ensuring a multi-party political system. Point 9 grants citizenship to all individuals living in Armenia, as well as those Armenians in the diaspora. The declaration does not set a timetable for complete separation from the Soviet Union. Armenian Deputy Samuel Shakhmuradian said he expects the Republic to remain part of the Soviet Union only during a transitional period. He did not specify how long that might take. Armenia's challenge to Soviet authority brings to 4 the number of Soviet republics to have declared independence. Of the 4, only Lithuania has sought immediate freedom from Moscow. Armenia's president, Levon Ter-Petrosyan, called this a historic decision that allows the republic to set its own relations with the world. Ter-Petrosyan added that taking control of its own affairs should help Armenia solve its problems with Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan President Ayaz Mutalibov has called for sanctions against Armenia. He accused Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev of foot-dragging on his decree to disarm illegal militias. Mutalibov warned that Azerbaijan might have to take action to defend itself from Armenian aggression. Intense fighting has broken out once again along the border separating Armenia and Azerbaijan. Armenian militants engaged Soviet interior forces in several battles over the course of 3 days. Fighting initially broke out in the Noyamberian region of Armenia, where Soviet military forces expelled hundreds of Armenian guerrilla fighters from Azerbaijan. The militants had entered to retrieve hostages taken in previous skirmishes. In another clash, Azerbaijani militants fired on 2 villages, killing 3 and wounding 6. A third battle saw 2 detachments of Interior Ministry troops engage 800 Armenian militants. The militants allegedly initiated the attack on the Azerbaijani village of Baganis Aryun. According to TASS, the battle lasted 10 hours, leaving 50 dead and over 100 wounded. President Ter-Petrosyan accused vigilante bands of fomenting violence and refusing to obey the Armenian parliament's order to disarm. He stated, "These adventures by the paramilitary groups was a case of stupidity and falling in the trap set by Azerbaijan. The clashes only serve the propaganda preached by Baku and vindicates their claim that Armenia is preparing for aggression." Ter-Petrosyan lambasted the Armenian military groups for not consulting with the parliament before taking aggressive action across the border. We are saddened to report the passing of Professor Shavash Torikyan. A longtime public servant to the Armenian community, Torikyan received his doctorate from Oxford University and taught at the American University of Beirut, Haigazian College, and the University of California at Irvine. The author of The Armenian Question and International Law, as well as a number of studies for the United Nations, died last week in Beirut, Lebanon. He was 65. On Wednesday, the Armenian National Committee of Pasadena held a reception in honor of new city manager Phil Hawkins. The reception was held at the Pasadena Armenian Center and was attended by City Councilman Bill Paparian, Congressman Carlos Moorhead's office, and members of the Pasadena Armenian community. In his remarks, Mr. Hawkins pledged his support for the community and promised to begin to learn Armenian. That's the news. Thanks for joining us. Until next week, good night.